values, toString, map, join, and for each we can use only specific. Then you have slice, you have find, and you have filter. Filter. We can read only specific, which are matching our condition, and we can display them. That is actually filtering the elements, how you can find and filter the elements, right? Next important is in the array, we have sorting elements. We have two options. Sort, it it arranges elements in ascending order and returns, it arranges elements in ascending order and returns all elements. So we have reverse. Reverse is not descending order. It returns all elements in reverse order. Reverse order means right to left, bottom to top. In which order they arranged? In the same order, reverse way. It is not descending order. Then if you want descending order, what to do? First you have to sort, then on that you should apply reverse. If you directly apply reverse, it will be in back to left, back to top. So that means back to front, left to right to left, or bottom to top. It will be like that. So for example, here we are adding the values like here. So let's say we are printing the values. Values will be displayed in the same order how they are. That means 3000, 7000, 7, like that. Now we are using values dot what? Sort. That means it will arrange in ascending order 30, 34, 63, 70, 72. If I say reverse, it is not descending order 63, 34, 72, 70, 30. That is reverse order. That means it is going to display in that reverse order. If I want descending order, then so what you have to do is we have to apply sort, after that apply reverse, then apply reverse. Then it is going to arrange in descending order. Descending order. So that you can apply simply using sort and reverse. So syntactically we have values dot sort and we have values dot reverse. You can chain values dot sort, on that we can reverse. Like this we can apply. Sorting array elements. That is. So reading the elements and filtering the elements and sorting the elements. We have another important technique is we are having adding elements into array. We have push adds new elements as last item. Unshift adds new elements as first item. Means it can be one or many. We have splice adds new elements at specific position. New elements at specific position. You have push, we have unshift, you have splice. Push, unshift, and splice. Right, that is important. We can add new element so at any specific position. Syntactically, we have values dot push. So we have new, so we simply have item 1, item 2, any number you can add. Values as unshift. We have item 1, item 2, any number you can add. Values dot splice. We have start index, delete count, and item 1, item 2. We have to add multiple. Here important is delete count is set to 0. It is set to 0 to add items without deleting the existing. Delete count you have to set as 0 to add items without deleting the existing. That's what you have to do. We have splice. Splice is used for adding element at any specific position. Let's see what these are actually. Push, unshift, splice. Let's see here how they work. So we are having some where categories is equal to electronics and fashion. Okay. And we are printing that categories dot map. We will use a function. We will read every category and we will read index. Remember, these two are just reference names. You can give any name. In the first reference, the value will be. In the second reference, index will be there. That means you can give as A, B, C, X, Y, Z, I, anything. It doesn't matter. First one refers to value. Second one refers to index. Their name can be X, Y, A, B, anything. So just reasonably we are giving the name, right? Now see what I am doing here, document dot write here. So we are printing the index. After that, we are printing the value. That is category. Okay, BR. So it is going to print the index and the value, 0 electrons. I'm using here before printing categories dot push. We are adding all. Then it is going to add all as last item. But it should be added as first. That means you should not use push. You should use what? Unshift. Unshift means it will add as first item. Right? You can add as first item. That is using this. At a time, you can add any. Suppose you have like footwear. That means all and footwear are added at the top. You can add one or you can add multiple. And here we want to add at specific position. Suppose footwear, then footwear is added at the top. But I want footwear after electronics. After electronics means we have to use splice. Electronics is at 0. After electronics means 1. But at 1 already there is fashion. So the second value is delete count. Do you want to delete any element which is already present there? No, we don't want to delete. So you have to put what? 0. And comma, what to add without deleting, add. What to add? I will add what? Footwear. So this footwear will be added between electronics and fashion. If I keep delete count 1, what it will do? It will delete the fashion and it will put the footwear. That means it will delete the fashion and put footwear. I don't want to delete anybody, just add without deleting. Then the delete count must be 0. And remember, the order is compulsory the same. That means even you are not deleting anything, you cannot skip this. That is the problem of JavaScript. Actually, in OOP languages, they support polymorphism dynamic. Then they support a concept called overloading. When they support overloading, one function is available in 3 ways. One way you can add start index and value. In another way, you can add start index, delete count and value. A function can be used in 3-4 ways, but here a function can be used in only one way. It cannot support overloading genuinely. That is the problem with JavaScript. So even you are not using, you have to use it. Even you are not using it, you have to mention it. That's very important. The order is important. So now without deleting, it is going to add the options. That is what actually splice can do. Splice can do. This is example for that. We have adding element push, unshift, another one splice. Removing elements. If you want to remove elements, removing array elements, we have same options. We have pop. It removes and returns the last element. We have shift. It removes and returns the first element. And we have splice. Splice is same. It removes and returns specific element. Any specific element you can. It can be one or many elements. Because at a time you can tell how many to delete. But pop will remove only one. Shift will remove only one. You can remove the first element. You can remove the last element. So syntax is same. Values dot pop. Values dot shift. And values dot splice. So 0, how many from index number 2, how many to delete? That means it is nothing but start index, delete count. And you don't need to add new items now, only add delete. The last one is always skippable, optional. We can skip that. In between, you cannot skip anything. It is mandatory to mention about them. So this is removing. And why I am saying removing and returning? Because it is not just removing. It removes that element and gives to us. This is the item removed. That means it removes and returns the element. So here, which one is removed, we can know. Suppose we are having electronics, fashion. So we have footwear like this. Now you see all these are present: electronics, fashion, footwear. Now what we are doing before printing, I am using categories dot what pop means what the last item is removed. If you want to see what is removed, you can log it console.log. You can use console log. And you see now in the console, you can see, I refresh, you can see footwear is removed. That means it will return that removed element. That means pop will remove the last. The footwear is removed. I want to remove the first one. Then what? Shift. Shift will remove the first one. That is electronics. I want to remove specific. Then what we have to do? Splice. From index 1, I want to remove 2. That means what are removed? Fashion and footwear are removed. 2 are removed. It returns 2 because you are removing 1. Then it is going to return 1. You can remove any number of items from that particular place. Splice is used for both adding as well as removing. You can add, you can remove by using splice. We can manage by using splice. That's what you can do by using this technique. So this is another point, same concept, another example, right? So how do we read elements? How do we remove elements, add elements and all? Still it is not done. So much is there. Array have a lot of internal functions, but those functions require some more knowledge. Actually, what you have to learn now is, okay, you are reading elements. How do we properly present them? That is the major job. That means what you are doing, you are visiting some website, like suppose Inox movies. In this Inox movies website, you can see this is a drop down about movies. And when I click here, it is a list of movies, but this list is not fixed, it changes. That means tomorrow another movie will come. One movie will be removed. How this list can be changing? In a drop down, how the list is changing. So they are not directly designing. They are keeping this list in an array. They are reading the elements from array. They are adding them as drop down options. So that whenever I modify array, it will reflect the drop down. But how it is possible to do that? That means how we can read elements from array, how we can create elements on page, add elements into the page. For that, we need to understand one technique. So what you need to understand is here, how we can dynamically add elements. So dynamically adding elements into HTML page. Dynamically adding elements into HTML page. How you can dynamically add elements into HTML page. For that, we need to follow some technique. First, we will see how we can add elements into a page. Adding elements into a page means nothing but, for example, see here. Suppose we are having a page, we have a button. So your profile photo, something like this. Below this button, we have a div. Now, what is our requirement is? Our requirement is when button is clicked, when this button is clicked, a photo should come. That means what you will do, will you create a photo means and display means will you use an img, but img is having some width 200, height 200, and img src is not mentioned because src we will mention later. When user clicks the button, we will put an src, but this is wrong. Why you have a image before they selected this button? Because this will waste the memory in your page, because having elements and not showing them will not affect the performance. So you are having a element and you are hiding that element, means what? Is it in the page or not? You are having an element and you are not showing it. Is it present in the page or not? It is present in the page. So it is taking time for loading that. So don't do this. Create image and add to page only when they click the button. How it is possible? How to create any element dynamically? We can do that. So that means we can create an element and add that element into the page dynamically. For that, we need to follow some techniques. What are those? Let's see. So don't do this like this. So what we have to do? We have to create elements and add to the page dynamically so that we can add only when they want. Unnecessarily don't keep them ready and hide them. Showing hiding is not a good idea. It will not affect the performance. Adding removing is good idea. It will change the performance. But that means how to create? First step is you can create any HTML element dynamically by using the document method. And we have a document method. What is the document method we have? Document dot create element. And we have to give the element name. Suppose I want to create a image. Document dot create element img. I want to create a button. Document dot what? Create element. Which one? Button. Like this, we can add elements. We can add elements. We can create elements. First, you have to create element. You can create any element of HTML by using the document method create element. So first you have to create element. Okay, this element is created and it is present in memory. That means now we have a memory. In this memory, two elements are there. What are those? One is image, another one is button. Now, in which memory image is present? We are not sure. Both are in memory, but in which memory reference image is there? In which memory reference button is there? We are not sure. Then how you will use them? That means when you create elements, they will be in the memory, but they need some memory reference name. Then only you can access from memory. Then what you have to do is assign a memory reference for new element. So we have to write like this, where some pic is document dot what? create element. Create element. Which element? IMG. So IMG is created and you can access by using pick. You can give any reference name you want. You can give same IMG name also. But if I want to create two images, then pick one, pick two, pick three, like this we can do. So where btn some document dot create element, we have to use button. That is the element name. So first create and assign to memory. After that, now what you have to do is define properties for element. How to define properties? Pick dot src, pick dot what height. What else you can give? Pick dot what? It is an image, na? Image, all properties you can use here. What is it? Alt. You remembered image have a lot, width, border, everything. If it is button, so if it is button, what you do? Inside the button, we want to display some text. If it is a HTML5 button, we have to use inner HTML. Because if it is HTML4 button, it will have value. If it is 5 button, it is a container, just like a div or a span. You can put anything inner HTML. Or btn dot class name, you can apply a CSS class. You can apply btn dot name, you can apply a reference name. Anything related to that you can use. So first you have to create element. Second, you have to set properties for that element. Third, we need to add this element to page. That means element is ready. Now you need to add this element to page. Where to add the new element into page? You decide one parent. That means you can add directly into body, or inside the body you can add any place you want. Suppose I want to add into this location. If it is only one div, no problem. If there are many divs, put one ID or reference for that. So suppose it is having an ID. What is the ID? Container. Into that container, we want to put that image. Then what we do? Next step, what we have to do is you created element, you define properties for the element. Now add this element into the page. That means, so add element into page. You can directly add to body or into any specific parent. Into any specific parent you can add. Suppose what we do now. So if you want to add into body, document dot query selector, where body. Into body, I need to add the element that I created. Then we have to use dot append child. Append child. Which one child element? Pick. You want to add the button. That means the button element. Suppose document dot get element by ID. Get element by ID. We have container na. Into the container, what we have to do? Append child. Which one? btn. btn is the reference name. That means the element is created. Now element is added. That means we are adding element dynamically into the page. We are adding the element only when it is required. Only when it is required. Right. That is how we need to configure. This is the process of creating elements and adding elements into the page, right? Now let's see how we can create and add elements into the page. So here we are writing on click. When this all should happen on click, na? That means this is what button click. Okay. Let's write a script and a function. What is it? Button click. On button click, what to do? First, create an image. How to create? Document dot create element image. Then mention the properties for that image. Image dot src dot public images some women fashion dot jpg. Image dot width. So dot width is 200. Image dot height is 200. Okay. After that, add this image into container. Document dot get element by id. What is it? Container dot append child. Append child, which one? img. Remember, this append child is not expecting this. It is expecting this. Understood? The memory reference, not the element name. Element name. Now it is ready. You see now in the design, inspect. And in the inspect, you see in the container, image is not there. And when I click profile photo, then image is added here. Now image element is added. That means this element is not there until or unless I click the button. Earlier, what we were doing, we are keeping an image, leaving it empty. On button click, we are applying some image. That's not great. Because why you are creating an element and keeping it before you use it? You can even create it when you want it. That is possible. Now, array manipulation requires this technique: creating elements, defining properties, and adding the elements. Let's see how. We can create anything. That means any type of element can be created. Actually, a lengthy approach also will be there. For example, first basic approach I will show here. Later we will deal with array. This is one example. Suppose if anybody asked you like create an ordered list. In this ordered list, you have a list item. This is HTML. We have another list item. This is CSS. And you design this through logic and add to page. That means now how many elements I have to create? 3 elements I have to create. One OL, two LI. 2 LI, na? I need 2 LI, one OL and 2 LI. And these LI must be added to OL. OL must be added to body. OL must be added to the body. Let's see how do we do this. So I am writing here. I am removing this. Let's keep everything empty. Even body is empty. Nothing is there. On body load, on load we will do. Body load. Okay. So we have a function body load. On body load, we want to generate a list and show. So how do we do that? First, we need to create an OL. How to create an OL? Document dot create element. What is it? OL. What should be OL type? OL dot type I will give as A. You can have Roman letter A, B, C, anything you can give. Okay. Next, 2 list items I want. Var li1 So I say item 1, how to create document dot create element li. I want item 2, document dot create element. This is also li. How many elements you are creating? 2. What should be item 1? Item 1 inner html, it should be html. What should be item 2 inner html? Item 2 inner html should be what? css. Now what we have to do is these two items must be added to ol. Who is the parent? Parent is ol. So ol dot append child, which one we have to add? Item 1. ol dot append child, which one I have to add? Item 2. Now item 1, item 2 are added to ol, but ol should be added to body na. That means document dot what? Query selector. What is it? Body. Body dot append child. Which one? ol. ol is added to body. Then list is ready. That's how we create the list dynamic. Now imagine you have to create a table. Table. And that is what they ask you in interviews. I have this data, create a table and show me with JavaScript. That means it's very complex. So creating a table means very complex. Table is the parent. Inside table, T head, T body. Inside T body, TR. Inside TR, TD. So much hierarchy. You have to create a TD, add to TR. Create a TR, add to T body. Create a T body, add to table. These kind of things usually they ask in interviews to test your logical skills. That means you need to create a table. Actually, that is very much required. We want a drop down, we want a table, and the table should change its data. Table don't have a fixed value. In HTML, what you learned designing table. Suppose we designed ICC cricket rating table. The rating changes every day. One new person may come into the rating, one person may be removed from the rating. That means actually it is not a hard coded design. It is the data coming from some source. Dynamically, the table is changing. That is done by using this technique. That means this is one concept of how we can create elements and use the elements. First, you try this. Now, how to use this with array, we will see. First, one simple example. Suppose I will remove all this. Okay, here we are having OL. Already OL is there. Now we have an global array where categories is equal to array. We have like all, we have like electronics, we have like footwear, we have like fashion. Now I want all these categories to be displayed as list items inside OL. How? That means I need to read the first category and put as li, second category as li, third category as li. Later one more category will come, it should also add. Then first point, how to read all the categories one by one. We learned so many techniques. Which is the best one? Categories dot map. We will use a function. We will read every category. Okay. For every category, we have to create a list item now. So inside the map where li is equal to document dot what? Create element. Which one? Li. So how many times list item will be created? How many elements are there? Those number of times. You have 4 elements, then 5 elements, then it will create 5 list items. You have 4 elements, it will create 4. It is now first creating for first one. What should be the inner HTML? Li inner HTML should be category na. That means the first category it will read, it will create a list item, and it will put that category name inside list item. This list item must be added into OL. Am I right? Then what we have to do? Document dot query selector. What is it? OL. OL dot what? Append child. Which one? Li. And it is ready now. That means those items are added into list item. What is advantage here? Anything you are changing, anything you are changing here. That means you are adding accessories, something, and it will add that into the list. Suppose I want them in a drop down. In a drop down, I want those items. Now what to do? Same map I can use. In this, you can create. What to create? Into a drop down, if I want to add any item, every item must be what? Option. Document dot create element. Which one? We have to create an option. And what is option text? You know, option don't have inner HTML. Option have text value. You remembered every option have 4 properties. I told you in HTML. Option have text, option have value, and option have selected and disabled. Right? Option text is category. Okay. Option value is also category. And add this option into drop down. Document dot what? Query selector. What is it? Select. Select dot what? Append child. Which one? Option. Then you can see a drop down is also ready. Drop down is ready with those options. That means we are reading every item from array using a map. For every item, we are creating a list item and adding into ordered list. We are creating an option and adding into drop down. Anywhere, anything you can create like this. Dynamically, what is advantage? If you delete anything from here, then automatically it will affect there. Right? This is how data is maintained. That means now data doesn't depends on the design. It comes from the data source. Actually, later this will come from database in the backend. In the backend, we will have database. From there, we will collect APIs. From APIs, we will bring the data and display. That is lengthy process. First, we need to learn how to present the data from an array. Right? So first, you try these things. Then in the next session, we will discuss about an example how to manipulate array. That means dynamically adding elements, removing elements, updating elements, everything we will design through a screen. That means how people design dynamic screens. That means suppose Book My Show. You are the admin of Book My Show. Then what you do? Your job is adding movies, removing movies, changing their timing, modifying the details of movies, all how you manipulate. That you can do by using this array concept and this technique. That we will see in next session. Tomorrow we will do that. Right? First you try this. In tomorrow's session, we will learn one example how dynamically we can manage array. Tomorrow we'll continue. Okay? Right. Yes, Samiksha, what is your doubt?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Actually, sir, my link node was deleted, so I messaged the admin. So she's told me you asked the sir which faculty.
What you missed?
Um,
You missed the classroom code. Huh?
the link was deleted me, so admin she's told me for its batches we don't have access, faculty only will share, you can ask faculty after class.
Which one? Lab group or both of them? You
Okay.
missed both of them or lab group?
Lab group.
Lab group.
Yeah.
I will ping you the lab group code. You join it. Huh?
Okay, sir.
Uh,
Thank you.
yeah. Yes, Kunal, what is your doubt?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Actually, little bit confused about the append child, sir. What can it do, sir?
Append child will add a child element into parent element.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay.